This presentation is part of our series on self-editing skills geared toward non-native English speakers. In this video, I'll talk about word choice and some tools you can use to help you choose the right word or phrase in your writing. Word choice is an issue that non-native speakers in particular can struggle with. One of the reasons for this is there are few rules around how to choose the right word or phrase. It's also a complex issue. Word choice can refer to several different kinds of issues, and we'll get into some of these differences. It's also difficult because it's not often actually taught in English classes or writing classes. In academic writing, it can be difficult to know whether a given word conveys the right tone or is adequately formal. On the other hand, a term may be too formal or unconventional. It may be conventional in some fields, but not in others. To further complicate things, some genres of academic writing are more technical than others. For example, a manuscript for submission to a subfield-specific journal will likely use more technical language or jargon than a grant application. And word choice isn't just about choosing the right single word. It can also refer to choosing the right pair of words or phrase. For example, different nouns may take different prepositions. Knowing which one to choose can be difficult without the benefit of native speaker intuition. Often, writers looking to answer these questions will turn to a dictionary. Dictionaries are great resources. They give parts of speech, definitions, synonyms, pronunciation, even etymology. Some of the dictionaries we recommend are listed here, from learner's dictionaries on the left to more general dictionaries, all of which can be found online. But what if the dictionary doesn't give you all the information you need, like whether a word is appropriate in your field? Or what if you don't actually know which word you need to use? For these occasions, we advise consulting other tools in conjunction with a dictionary. One of these tools is a corpus. A corpus is commonly defined as a collection of naturally occurring language that's assembled to be representative of some language variety. In simpler terms, a corpus is a large collection of texts. Corpora are frequently used by linguists to study language use, but they can also be very helpful for anyone interested in improving their English. And because corpora can be narrowed and filtered according to genre or topic of interest, they can be a great source of guidance on academic English. Let's say, for example, that you have been told that you need to use more linking words or connectives. For example, however, nevertheless, thus, in your text to make it easier for the reader to follow, but you're not sure how and where they're typically used. You may also be unsure whether a particular word is too informal for academic writing. You may also know which word you need to use, but aren't sure which words go best with it. Corpora can help you with all of these problems and many more. There are many useful corpora online that are free to use, but we will focus here on one of the most user-friendly ones for the English language, Word Neighbors. It's free to use and can be found at wordneighbors.ust.hk. Let's go through a couple of examples that show how to use Word Neighbors step by step. So, let's say you want to know more about how to use the word nevertheless in academic writing. To do so, you'll type nevertheless in the search field in the Word Neighbors homepage, and then you'll click Find It. You'll then see the results with part of speech, frequency, and other information. And you can click on See Contexts for more information about the word. So here we are in the Word Neighbors homepage, and I'm just going to go through the process I just outlined on the website step by step. And I'm going to type our search term into this search field here. Then we go down to click Find It. And we first get the result here that shows nevertheless as an adverb. That's the part of speech listed on the left. And it shows us the frequency with which this word occurred. When we click Show Results, then See Contexts, that will show us where the word nevertheless appeared. So we can see already from these results that it appears in the middle of a sentence here in the first example. In the second listing, it appears at the beginning of a word. So you can use these results as models to show how to use a word like nevertheless in a sentence. You can also click More to get more context of each result. Note that Word Neighbors also gives you the text type from which the result came. It sorts by different categories of text types, including advertisements, articles and reports. Articles and reports is a category that is actually broken down further into topics like business and administration. Down a couple results, we see humanities and social science. And you can actually sort by these text types as well. So if we go back to the initial screen, right here where it shows search in all available texts, you can click this plus icon to expand that, and that will give you these different types of texts. So if you just want to search in, say, academic articles or reports, then you would deselect all and then click Articles and Reports. You can further expand this category to show general, science and engineering, humanities and social science, business, instructions, and law. If you are looking for how authors used the word nevertheless only in science and engineering papers, then you could deselect all of those and just click Science and Engineering. Then you would again click Find It, Show Results, and See Contexts. And note that with these new results, all of the examples are from science and engineering articles and reports. Another common word choice issue is determining which preposition goes with a particular word. English has more than 100 prepositions, including some of the more common ones in, about, for, by, with, to, just to name a few. Many nouns, adjectives, and verbs go with particular prepositions, and it's not always obvious which one to choose. In Word Neighbors, we can investigate which preposition appears most commonly with a given word. Let's say you've written the sentence, a systematic review was conducted to better understand the pediatric health outcomes associated blank childhood adversity. And you want to know which preposition should fill in that blank. To do this in Word Neighbors, you'll first type the word associated in the search field. Then you'll want to select Show One Word After in the drop-down menu to the right. Then you'll click Find It, which will give you your results. The results will be grouped first by the part of speech of the search term, and then sorted by frequency of the combination. And again, you can always click See Contexts for more information about the word. So back to the Word Neighbors homepage. And we're going to type associated into our search field. Then we'll want to click 1 in this drop-down menu so that we can see one word after our search term associated. Then we click Find It. And now it gives us a lot of results here. It's sorted into groups based on the part of speech of the word that we're searching for. So this whole block here in blue is pairs where the word association, the noun, is actually the term that's being searched for. We're not interested in the noun version of this word, though. We are interested in the verb version. So we're going to scroll down to this gray section, and we want to find examples of the verb associated along with the preposition. And so we see that combination at the top. It's the most frequent combination. So let's click Show Results. And it looks like our most frequent combination is associated with. So the preposition with looks like it's probably our best bet for what word should go with associated. But if we're still curious about what that looks like, we can click See Contexts, and that will show us some examples. This first example, each seat has a carved limewood roundel depicting a different symbol associated with St. Margaret. In the second example, approximately 10 students and will be associated with a specific test in the tuition course. That construction is rather similar to our initial example. So again, you can go through these contexts and get a sense for how this combination of words is used. We can also look at the text type to the right. Again, it's possible to filter by text type if you would like to do that. Aside from Word Neighbors, there are additional corpora available online that you can use. The most comprehensive of these is COCA, the Corpus of Contemporary American English. COCA is a bit less user-friendly. It does require an account. Making an account is free, though. It has a lot more options for filtering and narrowing your search. You can also do comparisons in COCA, and it uses the largest corpus of any of these tools. So if you're looking for a really robust corpus, this would be the one to use, though it does require a little bit of learning to get used to the interface. Just the word is another tool. Now, this one is at the opposite end of the spectrum. It is the simplest interface, and it's actually designed with English learners in mind. It does use the British National Corpus, so it really relies on British English rather than American English. And just the word does not allow you to narrow by the type of text, as we saw in Word Neighbors, where you can narrow by articles and reports, and you can further filter that to humanities and social science or business. Now, I did say that a corpus is essentially just a very large collection of texts, which would mean that the internet itself really is a corpus. So you can use a search engine like Google to search for certain terms or phrases. We really recommend that if you're going to use Google, that you try to rely on Google Scholar, since that will limit your searches to academic writing. One advantage of this is that it is a very large corpus, and it's very easy to do simple searches of words or phrases. So if you already have a word or phrase in mind and you want to figure out where that word or phrase is most likely to be used, then this is a possibility. Of course, it doesn't show collocations, and it can't narrow by type of text, so by genre or by subfield. An additional resource that can be very useful is a collocation dictionary. Collocation dictionaries are really great for learning which word combinations are the most common. The Oxford Collocations Dictionary for students of English is an example of one of these. These dictionaries, though, are not strictly academic. They do give register information, though, so they will indicate whether a particular phrase is more formal or more informal, and it also offers some study guides and exercises. A couple of websites that students have found helpful include EnglishClub.com, which is particularly helpful for the topic of collocations. The examples on EnglishClub.com are a little bit more basic than what you're likely working with, but it is a solid guide with accessible explanations and has a quiz to test your understanding as well. We have also noted that an increasing number of people, both native and non-native speakers, are using a tool called Grammarly. This is an online AI-powered grammar checker that has additional features like a tone detector, so you can tell whether your tone is formal or informal. The basic version is free. Keep in mind, of course, that anything that is not human should be used with care, but Grammarly does seem to work well for a lot of people. So if that sounds interesting to you, you can check it out. We also highly recommend the books shown here, if you're able to order them. Explaining English Grammar by George Ewell is a really great comprehensive review of all things English grammar with some really helpful explanations of some of the more difficult aspects of grammar, including articles. And Academic Writing for Graduate Students by John Swales and Christine Feek is a really helpful guide written with non-native English speakers in mind, but is helpful for all kinds of graduate students. Thanks for viewing this video in our series on self-editing skills. For more information about the Graduate Writing Center, to make an appointment, or to check out our full listing of in-person and online workshops, visit our website at gwc.gsrc.ucla.edu. Thank you.